What's up guys, it's Jazz and welcome to the Neurodivergent Dog Trainer. Today we're going to be talking about how to get your dog to come when you call them. So let's get into it. As I'm sitting down, we're going to have a little bit of a heart-to-heart here. So when it comes to getting your dog to come when you call them, let me ask you a real quick question here. Have you taught them this yet? The reason I ask is because a lot of people don't. We just expect whenever we are teaching our dog their name by saying their name, giving them a piece of kibble, saying their name, giving them a piece of kibble, that they're just gonna magically know how to come to us when we call them. But that's not really fair, if we're being honest. That's not an innate thing dogs want to know. A lot of times we unintentionally pair it with a consequence that they don't like. Whereas in the target video, if you guys have seen that, the target is paired always with a reward, be it affection, attention, a treat, a toy, getting to go back to what I was doing. That's always paired with a positive reward. Come is usually not. So that's why I'm kind of getting into it here. What do I mean by it's unintentionally paired with it? Well, when do you usually call your dog to you? When you're getting ready to put them in their crate, or you want them to leave something alone, or they have to come inside and it's like time to calm down for the night. Well, to us, those are just natural, that's how the day goes. Your dog doesn't like that. They have to stop what they're doing, which they're having a fun time doing this thing, to come get in their crate for you to then leave. Would you like to do that? I don't know, if you're a masochist, maybe that's up your alley. We don't shame here. But that being said, that's the connection your dog has made. If you're having trouble with this, but Target was super easy, that may be why. So, things that we can do to make that better. Make yourself the most interesting thing in your dog's world. And how do you do that? Well, from day one of having your puppy, especially if you have a fenced-in backyard and you're letting them off leash to kind of explore their area, play chase. Chase is so natural for dogs to play. They love it. But the key is, do not chase your dog. Get them to chase you. Caveat, they're going to jump and nip at you because you are playing in their language when you do this. So to this day, even though they're getting pretty good at not jumping on us, if I go out there and I start running around with them, oh, my pants are getting bit, my hands are getting bit. I just stop the play session because I don't want them to do that until they calm down, and then we pick it back up. But it's gonna happen because that's how they play. It's kind of like whenever we were little and we were sitting out on the playground, we'd play tag. It's tag, but they have mouths with really sharp teeth. And I don't think they understand how sharp their teeth are. But that is the first thing I suggest you do, because it builds that bond. Like, you're playing with your dog, you're building that bond. It's not just food, it's a relationship at that point. You're learning your dog's cues of when they get tired, when they're stressed, when they need a break. But then they're also learning, oh, this giant two-legged thing can play? Yeah, let's go. Chase is wonderful. It's such a fun game, especially with puppies. The second thing that you can do is change up your routine. You don't have to drastically change it. When I say this, and this is what we're doing right now with Dolly and Merle, because Dolly has learned that when we go over here and we get a specific treat, it means that they're going into their crates because we're going to work. Because our morning routine's almost always the exact same. Dolly starts to go to the couch, or she tries to hide under the table because she knows that means that we're leaving and she doesn't want us to go. But what we've had to do is change up the treats, and also, instead of just luring her to her crate, because we've had to go back to luring her, we'll lure her past the crate, then she'll get excited, and then we'll lure her to the crate. So I mean, she ends up there, but it just adds a couple minutes. But if you have a certain trigger like that you can identify, say you get a certain jacket and you haven't put your dog up yet, well, put the dog up and then go get your jacket. Because then you're not running around the house trying to catch them when you're already needing to leave. So just change something, change the cue, and then they'll stop responding to it as much. Eventually they'll learn the new cue, so you'll have to keep changing it a little bit because puppies. But that's kind of how you can break that every time I come to you, something bad happens. That's also part of the reason we still are using treats to get them in their crate. They do like their crates. They accept that their crates are going to be where they are when we are not home. Getting them to actually come when you call them. If you don't have a treat pouch or a fanny pack or something, I promise it'll be the best thing you purchase for your dog training, because it keeps the treats on you. Every time that they do come to you, make sure you take that 5 seconds. Give them a treat. Play with them a little bit. Super interact, because that's going to start rebuilding that connection in their brain to, this does not mean this. This means this. So if I do this, I get this, and I like this. This isn't going to happen anymore. It's going to happen sometimes. It's not always going to be a positive reward. Sometimes they need to get off of a thing because it's going to hurt them. So that, essentially, we're going to compare it to a bank account. Like all the good interactions you have where you're playing and you're having fun with them, all of those build you towards having a overflow of good things, so that few times that you do have to call them off and you don't get to give them that affection and reward because it's like a situation, then you can call them off and it doesn't detract. It takes out a little bit, but then you can put it right back in. And it's not like dogs actually think about it that way. That's how we have to think about it, because we have to contextualize it. But they don't understand that part. See it with the dog in action. To be honest, I use Target more than anything else because I like it better. I like that they come up and touch my hand with their nose because I find it very cute. However, I have unintentionally trained them to come when I whistle. So whenever I go out and they actually hear the door and they start coming when they hear the door, it's because almost every time they come back in, they get something they like, be it attention. We start playing with them inside. We feed them a lot. Sometimes, like in the morning, if I go out there and go, like they know that means, all right, food time. I do that whistle and they come back in. So with the whole crate thing, try to keep them from only associating the crate with we leave, and also not associating come with call to, okay, well now I have to go in my crate, so I'm not gonna do that. We do try to call them inside about 10 minutes before we actually leave, so that they get to play and interact. But as it's getting closer to us to time to leave, we interact with them in a more calm manner. So like earlier, I'm playing tug with them and everything. Well, I'll do that in the morning and we'll play fetch. As it's winding down and I'm like getting ready to leave, it'll be more of like a snuggle on the couch or some pets while we're walking around. It's not going to be that roughhouse playing because I want them in the mind state. We also have our Google Home program to play relaxing music at a certain time in the morning, so it triggers them to go, okay, it's time to start calming down here. And yes, relaxing music does work on dogs. But yeah, so those are pretty much the common troubleshooting things when it comes to getting your dog to come to you when called. I don't really need the puppies in this video because there's not really a whole lot to demonstrate. From my perspective, there's not. Now, if you guys want me to demonstrate these in practice, I can try. In all honesty, I'll probably need to find somebody else's dog that doesn't listen to explain this better, because it is mostly on the human side. Like, it's not really a thing for the dog to have to fix. It's a human thing to fix. I know this one's kind of like I kind of feel like I got on to you guys a little bit, so I apologize. Like, I don't want this to seem like I'm coming down hard on anybody, because I'm not. But it is one of those things that we've just got to wrap our minds around. But if you guys did like this, go ahead and give us that like so we can interact, and leave your thoughts in the comments. What are you struggling with? How can I help you guys with this? And if you want to see more content on dog training from a neurodivergent perspective, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.